My boyfriend hits me, then he says he loves me and reckons it's all okay.
I know my sister gets hit by a boyfriend. And she won't talk to me, our parents, nobody. But she should tell someone.
He goes berserk sometimes and hits me, and then he says it's my fault that he lashed out at me.
If assault or violence has happened to you, do seek help and support. You can start by talking with an experienced counsellor on this confidential helpline, 1800 200 526. Because to violence against women, Australia says no.
I got really angry and I just gave her a slap. You know, stuff happens. But she knows, I mean, she deserved it.
Yeah, I know this bloke, and we all know he hits his girlfriend. Never in front of people, but she won't do anything. You know, I can't say anything, can I?
Well, you just lose control sometimes. It's only shoving and stuff. It's not like I'm one of those blokes who beats up on a woman.
This behaviour is not just unacceptable, it's criminal. You can get help and support by talking with an experienced counsellor on this confidential helpline, 1800 200 526. To violence against women, Australia says no.
Daddy! Hey mate, how are ya? Good to see ya.
Hope you've been a good boy for Mummy.
Yes, Dad.
How was your Rotary Club meeting today?
Fine. It's cold. It's got no taste.
I work all day to come home to this! Oh, shut up! The dog eats better than this! The dog eats better than this! Get up! Get up! Get up! How many times have I told you to clean up this mess? You're useless! Stop, please!
It's not okay to say she was asking for it.
It's not okay to be cruel to your boy, just because it never did me any harm.
Or scream abuse at your children just because you're unhappy.
It's not okay to control your family with threats.
To bully them.
To intimidate them.
Or ever think that you can demand their love and respect.
It's not okay to punch a hole in the wall to show your wife who's boss.
Or force her to have sex.
It's not okay to teach your kids that violence is the way to get what you want.
It's not okay to make them feel worthless just because you're having a bad day.
It's not okay to destroy their confidence with hurtful words.
Or make them feel scared in their own home.
It's not okay to blame the drink.
Or use your culture as an excuse for what you know is wrong.
It's not okay that in this country the police respond to a family violence incident every 7.5 minutes.
That every year, an average of 14 New Zealand women,
6 men,
and 10 children
are killed by a member of their own family.
It's not okay to say it only happens in certain parts of society.
Because it happens everywhere.
And it's not okay to look the other way and say it's not our problem.
Because it is our problem.
And it's not okay. Ever.
But it is okay to ask for help.
I had this kind of dark part of myself that I didn't talk to other people about. One of the worst things for Angela was the emotional abuse, was the put-downs, was the name-calling, because you can see the bruises, but that was an attack on her spirit, and it just really broke her down. And I didn't realise that at the time, how awful that was. I had to face up to my abusive behaviour when my friends rang me. Everybody else had been too scared to do that, but my friends cared enough about me and they cared enough about Angela that they knew they needed to do something. And it felt good to be honest. So there was some embarrassment and some relief.
When I grew up, I didn't know what it was like to play. Play for me was violence. You know, it was called discipline and it was called love. All I knew was to smash people. And that's why I got love tattooed on my hand. It was because that's what I thought it was. And so I just tried to spread as much of that love around as I possibly could. My wife, my children, my victims. I mean, how sad is that? Is this the real me that I want my wife and my children to see? And it wasn't. And I had to do something about it. It takes more of a man to actually realise that. So yeah, it opens up a whole new world being this violent free person.
Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes. Always perseveres.
A month or two? 5. Certainly, darling. Look what you did. What? You spilled. I'm sorry. It's just a little bit. Here you go again. Sorry. What can I do? You can't do anything because you can't do anything right. I don't know what to do. Just shut up. Say it with a clear fingertip.
What the hell's this? What's that? It's a dress. Look, I know it's a bloody dress. What the hell's it for? You think I'm just going to let you out of here wearing that?
What are you, idiot? You're wrapping it.
I'm an idiot, am I?
What's got into you?
You think I don't know what you're up to?
What do you mean? Stop it. What are you doing? Just let go.
Who's going to be there?
Who? I don't know what you mean. Please, just let go.
Stupid little lame hat! Tell it! Who is it? Who are you getting all dressed up for? Who the hell are you trying to impress? You're making me stupid. No, you're just making me. Now tell me, or you know what's coming next.
Thought you could use this.
Right, come here.
Get some sun cream on your face, or on your nose. What do we say when we put these on? Good boy. We'll put this one on. Ready? Keep your hat on, okay? Hey, what now? You press the button. Now watch the man up there. See the red man? Yeah, green. Let's go. All right, up the big boy stairs and we'll go play some soccer.
Oi! Where are you? Come here! What is this doing on the ground? I just tripped on it. Could I break my leg? You don't care, do you? You're useless. You are useless. You can't even say sorry, can you? Say something. Say something.
There's nothing good about dads who abuse women. For help or someone to talk to, go to vic.gov.au/family violence support. Supported by the Victorian Government.
Your mum teach you to kick. Like this. Go get it. Come here. This time, just kick it as hard as you can at your mum, all right? Go on. Headshot! Ripper! I knew you could kick, you just needed a bigger target. Leave her, mate. She's fine. Next time you kick it harder, she can take it. Let's go.
Dad was pretty good today, wasn't he, Mum?
Yeah.
Family violence has no good days. Talk to a friend or visit vic.gov.au/family violence support.
Ah, look who it is, Deb. Should change that to Deb shit. Cook? You? That's dangerous. No, I'm not going to give you more. I gave you enough money this week to get the... Hey, I've told you, you don't speak when I'm speaking. Seriously, do you, like, practice being this stupid?
Come on, Jono, do you think that's funny? Because that's not funny, mate.
It's a joke, mate.
It's not a joke, man.
You go for a present, so you go for free, then. That's the best prize of all.
Well, it came out of my bag.
Supported by the Victorian government.
What's wrong with you? Come here! Shut up! Come back here! Heather, open the door! Lucas, open the door for your dad! Lucas, you let me in now! Mom! You're gonna regret this, Heather! I said open the door now!
We're leaving now. Get your special bag.
If I have to break this door down, Heather! Open the damn door! Heather! Heather!
Do you go to the shops?
Yeah, I just picked up a couple of things I thought.
You know we're on a budget.
It was just a few things I thought that we needed.
Doesn't look like a couple of bloody things to me. Looks like you did a whole bloody shop. Blowing the budget. How are we gonna get ahead, Anna, if you just keep spending and spending? Huh? How are you going to spend it now?
All right.
There you go, boys.
Next round's on me, boys.
Yeah, it is. I'll believe it when I see it.
What's the last time you bought around? Mate, I don't want to peak too early, okay? You gotta pace yourself.
I don't want to peek
I'll
at
get
all.
around to it.
Hopeless woman.
Everything okay?
What does she think I'm made of money or something?
What's wrong?
Oh, she wants money for petrol now. How bloody hopeless. Only just cut up her credit card too.
Mate, pull your head in.
1 in 3 women are affected by domestic violence in Australia. It's time to make it none in 3. Domestic violence isn't just about physical assault. Speak up against all forms of domestic violence. All men can make a difference.
Right, I'm off. You're the man of the house now. Keep an eye on your sisters. I reckon Rob needs the job more than Vicky does. He's got 3 mouths to feed.
Well, why doesn't she just leave if he's really a wife beater? Where were you this afternoon? I called you 3 times.
effort today, boys. Well done. High five. Excellent work. Here we go, mate.
Looking sharp out there, lads.
Yeah, thank you very much. Dan, nice one, Greg. Hey, mate. Yeah, well done today. Jimmy and his iron. It's fantastic. Good stuff, mate.
Everyone on the team loves Dad. He's a good coach.
Absolutely. Yes, mate. Well done. We'll see you on the weekend. Excellent work.
Dad and Mum both work. They don't usually finish at the same time, but some days they do. I like it when they do.
Profiles for us across the entire staff.
Is there money in the budget?
There is, but should we be spending it on this?
Well, sure. It creates consistency across the organisation, right?
Yeah, good point.
Hi again. Hi, Sammy.
Hey, Bruce. Hi, Jimmy. I heard you had a good hit out there today.
Yeah, you had your eye in today, didn't you, Jimmy? Let's see if you can hit another 6 on Saturday, yeah?
That'd be great.
Have a good night, gents.
Yeah, you too.
Bye, Jimmy. When I grow up, I want to be like Dad.
Beautiful afternoon, wasn't it?
Sure was, mate.
Have a good one, Ray. Say hi to Jenny for me.
Something good's cooking in there.
My friends love my mum. She makes them triple cheese toasties and she set up a superhero party for my birthday. It was awesome.
You know you said we need some time away together.
Yeah.
How about Easter long weekend?
We're at Dad's for Easter.
Yeah, but for something different.
Ben, do your homework before you switch that on.
Oh, it's only a couple of minutes till dinner.
What did I say? Turn it off! I don't care whether it's 5 minutes or 50. No games until homework is done.
Okay, that's fine. Ben, put it away. We're eating soon.
What? Is this glass?
I broke a glass earlier before I left. I thought I cleaned it all up.
Cleaned it up. Are you stupid or something? Did a bloody good job of that, didn't you? What if I was barefoot? I would have sliced my foot right open.
I'm so sorry.
Well, you've got time for holidays, but no time to clean the bloody fire!
Dad says boys don't cry.
What's happening, Paul?
Nothing.
Everything okay over there?
She left a piece of bloody glass on the floor. Lucky I had my shoes on. And Ben.
Mate, pull your head in.
What's going on?
He's a loon.
Sometimes Mum cries.
Domestic violence is a global problem, typically involving aggressive behavior within the home toward a spouse or partner. Domestic violence, however, is not just fighting, hitting, or the occasional distressing argument. It is more than this. Domestic violence consists of an abuse of power. In many cases, violent acts are often a result of months or even years of control, intimidation, and threatening behavior. Domestic violence consists of physical, sexual, emotional, and psychological abuse. Both men and women can fall victim to domestic violence. In Australia, this problem is a large-scale topic, as on average, at least one woman a week is killed by a current or former partner. According to the most recent Australian Bureau of Statistics Personal Safety Survey, in Australia, 1 in 11 people have been subject to violence by a partner since the age of 15, with 23% of victims being male and 77% female. This shows that Australian women are most likely to experience physical or sexual violence in their home by a male partner or ex-partner. This data, however, is measured by victims, not incidences. Data collected on current partner violence showed that 65% of both men and women who have experienced domestic violence experienced more than one incident. These horrific acts often don't only impact the people directly in confrontation. Of women who had experienced violence from an ex-partner, 61% surveyed said they had children in their care during the violence, which includes a further 48% of women who stated the children had seen and/or heard the violence. Children being exposed to this sort of behavior grow up in an environment that is dominating and unpredictable, filled with fear, tension, and anxiety, which can cause long-term emotional and psychological trauma. Children are also at risk of being manipulated by the abuser, therefore causing further issues. It is difficult to measure the true extent of this problem. Recent statistics show that the majority of people who have experienced domestic violence don't contact the police and often never seek advice or support. In most cases, it has been shown that incidents are not reported, either due to fear of further violence from the perpetrator, feelings of shame or embarrassment, or a belief that the incident was insignificant. So how can domestic violence be stopped? The best way to eliminate domestic violence is by preventing people becoming abusers in the first place. What children see and hear from their family, friends, and role models can all have a significant impact. Positive role models in children's lives will help influence who they become in the future. Other ways of preventing violent incidences include increased funding for support services and assisting people in economically difficult situations, as many women stay in destructive relationships because they, and in some cases their children, will be homeless if they leave. On a more basic level, domestic violence can be prevented by maintaining healthy relationships and, of course, reporting incidents you have experienced, seen, or heard.
You pop those down there.
You're okay.
Just did it because he likes you.
Don't try like a girl, mate. Come on. Look at that. Yes.
Why are you doing it?
You're okay. He loves you.
What do you mean, what do I do?
Violence against women starts with disrespect. The excuses we make allow it to grow. Violence against women. Let's stop it at the start.
This is the story of a boy and a girl. It's a universal story and an Australian story. It's a story that occurs every 2 minutes, in fact. A story that happens 657 times a day, every day of the year, and in every kind of household and every city and region across Australia. This is the biggest story behind violence against women. This story doesn't have a happy ending. Because this is the story of how gender inequality contributes to the murder of one Australian woman almost every week. Sounds like a tall tale, right? Let's take things back to the start. Here's the story of a regular woman. As a girl, she gets told how pretty she is, never how clever she is, that if she wears a short dress, she's asking for it. She grows up and gets used to being harassed by men on the street. That's just the way it is. Here's the story of a regular man. As a boy, he learns that women aren't equal to men from a very early age. Even though both his parents work, on the weekends his mum does the housework while dad watches sport. When he cries about being bullied at school, his dad tells him to stop being such a girl and just punch him right back. Technically speaking, we'd say that these social norms, practices and structures have shaped both the boy and the girl, creating a society where women are valued less and men are expected to be dominant and in control. In such a world, disrespect and hostility is excused and violence against women is far more likely. But back to our story. The girl grows up into a woman, the boy grows into a man, and they begin to date. He jokes that he hopes she doesn't get fat now that we're together. she's not sure whether she should laugh. They have the same education and do similar work, yet he earns more money. He's quickly promoted, like other men in the company, while she gets overlooked. At home, she does all the household chores, and he takes control of their joint finances, seeing as he's the main breadwinner and all. When they're at the pub, he puts her down in front of his mates. His friends stay quiet. In the morning, he wakes up and blames the alcohol. And stress, he always has an excuse. When she gets pregnant, her boss says she can't come back part-time. After the baby is born, the lack of flexible job opportunities and childcare keeps her out of the workforce. She is socially isolated and financially dependent on him. He controls decision-making, and her. They are not equals. She is dependent on him for everything. So she never tells anyone that he has started to hit her. She doesn't say anything to her family or friends. She grows more isolated. She has nothing else but him, so she lives with the violence until their story ends, one way or another. This story isn't a one-off. It's a story shared by 1 in 4 Australian women who have experienced physical or sexual violence from a current or former partner. And it's a story of 1 in 5 women since the age of 15 who experience sexual violence, including rape, 1 in 4 emotional violence, and 1 in 3 women physical violence. But it's also a story that affects children. More than half of the women who experienced violence had children in their care when the violence occurred. For victims and perpetrators, violence against women is the conclusion often reached after a life lived in a society where women and men aren't treated equally. But we, you and I, can change the narrative. Better education, policies, practices, support and funding can prevent this all too common story. When women and men have equal power, value, and opportunities in relationships and in society, violence against women is less likely. By nurturing caring, respectful, and equal relationships, and by creating equitable and inclusive communities, workplaces, and institutions, we can create a society of equality and respect, where violence against women is unthinkable. Let's change the story, because ending violence against women starts with gender equality.